I think if they made the Old Spice Gentleman's deodorant in the blue gel form, I would use it. I use the Alpine one right now. I was using the Fiji one. I kind of switch it up. Sometimes I use like the red ones that I think they're called like Swagger or whatever. I think if they made a blue gel version of the Gentleman's blend, I would use it. I used to use their body wash. Now I don't because it was drying out my skin. Or no, the Gentleman's blend didn't because it had moisturizer in it. I stopped using it because it was too expensive. And I like St. Ivy's better despite all their horrible shit in their products. But yeah, I think if the Gentleman's blend had the blue gel version, I would use it. The only reason I'm talking about this is because I just got an ad for it when I was pulling up the thing on the TV back here. Anyways, welcome to the Forbidden Land podcast. This is episode 66. And no, I'm not going to talk about Star Wars as fitting as it would be. We're going to skip that this week because I haven't watched any new Acolyte stuff. And I'm recording this on a Tuesday. So one of the topics I wrote down was Sneeko being knocked out. I wanted to watch the video because it's so funny. Like, I've never seen somebody punch somebody. He didn't even get knocked out. He got his teeth knocked out. I'll say that. But I've never seen someone just get their fucking teeth pushed in. Is that it? No, that's a meme. That would have been funny to play, though. Here. So he's pissed, and they're like filming him, and then someone, I'm pretty sure Sneeko, knocks his hat off. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Right on the beat drop too. Dude, this shot is crazy. I love this shit. And then, like, I think at the end of the video, it shows him with a chipped tooth and, like, a bloody mouth. And then he's like, dude, we didn't even touch him. And, like, you see... Why are people knocking people's hats off this week? Did they not learn from the Bradley Martin clip? There's no way Sneeko didn't see that clip. Because it's all those kick-streaming little fucks that keep doing this shit. They keep provoking people in public on IRL streams. This isn't even a stream, but Sneeko's a kick streamer. They keep provoking people... And then they're like all shocked when they get their shit kicked in. Look at this shot though, dude. This shit's awesome. Oh shit! And yeah, here's him with his busted ass teeth. You see that little gap right there?
Off the stage, hit Sneeko in the face. I watched the whole thing.
Anyways, and you know he's got his meat rider boyfriend next to him, being like, "I saw the whole thing go down. My precious little angel boyfriend did not touch him." So anyways, that's what happened last week. When did that happen? When did I see that? On Sunday? So yeah, that's what happened over the weekend. But yeah, so a lot of fun stuff happened. I will say one thing that did happen to me yesterday. I went to Chick-fil-A because it's Pride Month and you got to represent the company that hates us the most. But let's be real, most of their customer base are gay people. I know very few LGBT people that don't go to Chick-fil-A for moral reasons. The ones that don't, it's because they worked at a Chick-fil-A and they were mistreated while working at the Chick-fil-A. But I went yesterday because they gave me a free sandwich. The new sandwich, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll go, I'll redeem this. I'm a little strapped for money, so why not get a free sandwich? And hold on, I don't know what I'm trying to do here. So I'm waiting on my sandwich, and of course it's busy as shit, and of course this guy just no consideration at all, he grabs his food and then drops it. And he then says to the girl who's holding my food, by the way, he goes, and he knows how packed it is in there. He goes, can you remake all this? All the stuff that he dropped. I think he dropped like his fry. And he was like, can't you guys just remake it? And you could see the look on her face. She was just like, I guess. Like, very much just like, what the fuck, man? And so that was annoying. And then, you know, she's like, is this your food? And I was like, yeah, it is. And so after that, I'm walking out the door. And by the way, I have a gripe about Chick-fil-A. Not about the restaurant or anything or any of the workers that work there. The senior management, why is it that they all decide to show up to a Chick-fil-A around lunchtime, a random Chick-fil-A, and all have like a luncheon? Like, where are y'all coming from? I don't understand it. Where are y'all all coming from?
Tropical storm conditions.
Oh, Jesus. And so, you know, they all start piling out the door while I'm trying to leave. And then I get out the door and like a supervisor is full on carrying one of the workers. And she looks like she's out of it. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, somebody get the door open. Somebody get the door open. And he's like saying a prayer and all that. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And if you're not aware, Georgia heat. It was like 87 degrees outside, if not 90. It was high humidity with like a light breeze. It's this skinny, like teenage girl who was working the drive-thru, and she passed out. And I'm like, why are we still allowing restaurants to operate this way? Why are we still allowing restaurants to operate this way, where they're allowed to force employees to all go stand outside? Oh my God, I just bit the fuck out of my lip. Oh God. Why is this so hard for me to talk without like chomping my fucking teeth? Oh my God, dude. Oh, it's gonna be such a pain in the ass in a few days. And I have to pee again. But why are these businesses allowed to force their employees to work out in this kind of heat? I don't understand it. I've never understood it. And I really do despise the way that service workers are treated. This girl who now has to go back into the back and go, I need another fry to replace this dumbass's fries that he dropped for free, apparently. And then this girl who was forced to work outside in the scalding heat and passed out. I'm like, that shit's crazy, dude. There should be regulations around that. That once it, especially here in the South, once it passes a certain temperature outside, you cannot force your workers at a fast food restaurant to work outside in that kind of condition. Or at least make it like company policy. You know, I've never understood. I know that it makes the line move faster. It doesn't. It just gets orders into the kitchen faster because, you know, that's just how it is. But like, if you want to have a system like that, just put 3 speakers in both lanes and have it be wide enough where cars fit into each like box and can all order on the speaker. Just have people inside. That way it gets the orders through faster if the line's not moving. But yeah, that shit pissed me off. And then like as I'm going home, some white van just pops a U-turn right in front of me. I had to slam on my brakes in the intersection, swerve around them, and then like drive away. And then as I'm getting closer to the light, like a Dodge Challenger, like Charger or something, or it might have been a Mustang actually, like goes to swerve in front of me and then like second guesses it. And I was like, that's fucking right. You better not fucking do that shit. I was losing my mind yesterday. Also, yeah, I have to pee. So I'll be right back. So moving on, if you watched this podcast a year ago, then you know that I love talking about weather. I love talking about hurricanes. Hurricane season, I was like, I gotta talk about this shit. And I was kind of going hard. I think I had like multiple episodes dedicated to just talking about the weather. When I was a kid, I wanted to be like a TV weatherman. And so I've been like obsessed with like covering weather events. And funny enough, that kind of is like the root of why I like doing this, because I think I just like being on camera and speaking to people to some extent. Like, obviously I'm not like across the board like, yeah, this shit's sick. But like overall I enjoy doing this. Of course, if we look, you know, the Weather Channel's not talking about this right now, but apparently there's a tropical storm headed straight towards Mexico and Texas, potentially Texas. It's Tropical Storm Alberto. Is that what they're calling it? That's funny. I love the silly little if it organizes into a tropical storm, it'll be named Alberto. I'm not gonna lie, I love the names they give these things. Alberto, dude, what a cute little name. Oh my god, Alberto's coming to town. People who know and people who don't know. Dude, being like, there's a storm coming, Alberto. I'm like, that's the least threatening shit I've ever heard, and then it fucking devastates the area that it hits. That's so messed up. But it seems that we are now entering the beginning of hurricane season before we ever exit tornado season. So yeah, it looks like we're heading into hurricane season a little early. And you know what that means? More of my Google Earth screenshots for thumbnails and talking about hurricanes for their full hour-long episode. I love doing it. I don't know what it is. I love doing it. I was collecting hurricane episodes like Pokemon cards. I guess there'll probably be, if it doesn't hit Texas, I would assume there's going to be a lot of flooding. So I guess watch out for this tropical storm.
Conditions are expected to begin Wednesday over portions of the Texas coast. So let's talk about potential tropical cyclone 1. There is a chance of seeing this becoming a tropical storm sometime Tuesday or possibly Wednesday, but the impacts will be the same regardless. Looking at the path, you can see it's going to move west towards Mexico. Impacts will include heavy rain.
Yo, what the hell is going on? Wait, I didn't even process this woman just popping up into frame.
Let's talk about potential tropical cyclone 1. There is a chance of seeing this becoming a...
What the hell? That's so funny to me. I don't know why. The Weather Channel going, sit on this green screen and just speak directly to the camera, please. Oh my god, dude. And like, no one watches these videos either. So, I mean, my god. I love that shit. But yeah, it looks like we're entering hurricane season sooner than we thought. But yeah, so yesterday I streamed on Twitch. I do occasional, like once or twice a month, Twitch streams where I just play games. There's no camera, nothing fancy. I have Twitch alerts, but like, other than that, it's just the game. Like, it's just straight up footage of the game. Like, I can just show it. I don't know why I'm only talking about it. Let me just show it. Yeah, because the VOD just went up. I upload the VODs on YouTube. And so, like, here's a perfect example. It's quite literally just the game. And me playing like trash. Hey. Yeah, that's all it is. Nothing fancy. The occasional alert. I believe the chat pops up on screen, but no camera, no fancy graphics or anything. And so, you know, I was streaming on Twitch, and, you know, my primary streaming platform is YouTube, so that's why I don't really put a lot of effort into Twitch. And, You know, lately I've been hearing more and more about Kick, and I even mentioned it at the beginning of this episode when Sneeko got his shit rocked. Actually, I think there was a video of another guy who got his shit rocked too. I kind of want to pull that up because it's kind of funny. Not gonna lie, it's pretty funny. God, where is it? I think I saw it on Twitter. Yeah. This guy named Benny Mac was doing an IRL stream. Now, IRL streams are like the bane of my of anyone's existence now. They are just so ruined. IRL streams used to be so fun to watch. And like, you know, Ice Poseidon kind of fucked him up for a little bit, but he got banned. So like the problem was solved, right? Well, now we have this unregulated platform called Kick that has no terms of service pretty much. And you just get shit of like people walking around on the street just harassing people. So we have this awesome video of this guy provoking this dude. The streamer is the one on the right. That's Benny Mac, I guess. And then this is the guy that he's fucking with.
Do that, bro. I'm a real person. I'm not a streamer. I don't give a fuck.
They're really not a streamer, but most of the stream. Yo, what the heck? They're both streamers. They're both streamers. They're both character mode streamers.
No, do not get close, bro. Don't touch me. Don't get close to me. Don't get close to me, bro. Don't even get close to me. I asked you for your bottle. I mean, bro, you didn't have to do that.
He knocks the drink out of his hand. It kind of, I think he's also streaming because he has his phone out and then he starts talking to it like he's on a stream. And he keeps like pointing it like he's recording or something like that.
Hey, yeah, so you're gonna keep doing it?
Alonzo,
who are these people that you're bringing to me?
Guys, you're watching a fucking...
Secretary says he hit your job.
Diffuse it. Go and diffuse it.
Come on, guys. Alonzo, I on Kick.
Bro,
I'll give it to you now.
You gotta diffuse the situation.
Here you go. Here you go.
So he takes his phone. Already, I'm sorry if someone's taking my phone. I'm doing what this guy does next, because I don't think people understand how important phones are to people nowadays. If I want to log into anything that I usually log into, I need this phone. So already this dude's kind of asking for his shit to get rocked. And then, like, I don't understand this. I don't know if it's like for content or something. It never seems worth it to me to do this, to just be a douchebag. Like, I know it gets views, but you look like shit in the clip. I don't think anyone's going to this guy's stream after seeing this clip. If anything, they're like, now this reaffirms why I don't go on Kick. This dude takes his phone. The dude's clearly agitated. I mean, this should have been the first sign that you should back off. And here we go.
Jackson says, reverse that.
Oh, dude. Like, that's just the icing on the cake.
Rebel Fart Jackson says.
What does he hit him in the face with? Is that a selfie stick? When I originally watched... Also, is that an Alex Jones emote?
Fart Jackson says.
It is, I think. I thought it was originally like a piece of paper, and I was like, damn, like that really is the needle or the straw that breaks the camel's back, huh? I think he hit him in the face with a fucking selfie stick. That shit would kind of hurt, right? If you got tapped by it. I mean, I can try it out. I have one that looks like that. But that shit looks like it fucking hurt. Here we go.
Stupid. Why'd you hit me, stupid?
Yeah.
You should touch me.
Look at this little bitch cameraman covering the camera like right away.
Why'd you hit me, stupid?
Bro.
You should have touched me. You should have touched me.
He's a goddamn thief.
Come on, bro. You shouldn't touch me. You should have not touched me ever once.
I mean, that's fair. I want to see the aftermath, but I don't want to go on Kick. You know.
Do that, bro.
Acted tough and then gets dropped like a rock. I want to see the rest of the clip, but I feel like it's not even much. It's probably just the dude like, it's the dude like yelling at him. But dude, I hate that his boys are like, dude, why would you do that? It's like, what the fuck do you mean? Why would he do that? Dude, it's like when I should show the clip where Bradley smacks the fuck out of that guy. Bradley Martin smacks. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Smacks Extremer. Oh fuck yeah! There we go. Oh, he's a Twitch streamer. Roid Monster slaps Ronaldo. Oh fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Here's the clip. Here's the clip. So this guy takes Bradley's hat off. Now, I've never seen Bradley Martin without a hat on, and I'm pretty sure this clip kind of explains why we never see Bradley Martin without a hat on. Because like the dude is receding, so like it's understandable that he would be self-conscious about his hair, but this little fucking twerp decides it's a good idea to take this dude's hat off.
Get off my hat. Give my fucking hat.
Damn, actually? Shit. Oh, I didn't know that was bad. My bad, bro.
I gotta see that slap again.
Give my fucking hat.
Damn.
Give my fucking hat.
Damn.
That was a hard ass slap, dude. Oh, and you get to see the Twitch chat during it too. All the mods like fucking laughing at him. Oh man. Yeah, you know. I just don't understand why people provoke people like this while they're streaming. I just don't get it. I didn't get it back then and I don't get it now because it's even worse now. Like I think like IRL streaming is having restrictions placed on it in Japan because of these guys. But this is kind of like an overarching conversation about what Kick has done to the streaming space and the internet as a whole. Because, like, you know, having a competing platform is good. I think that, you know, Twitch and YouTube competing in the live streaming space is a good idea. YouTube is a little bit more equipped with better tools, like having the VOD always exist on YouTube so people can go back and watch it. And then, you know, also the fact that you can then upload videos separate from live streaming on YouTube, so you can have, like, clip channels and stuff. And I like the idea of those two platforms competing. Kick sounds like a good idea in theory. Kick having like more consistent moderation would have been the correct response to Twitch. Twitch having inconsistent moderation is, you know, a pretty prevalent topic. But all Kick is now is just an unregulated platform that has gambling on it, that like pretty much allows borderline porn on it. With like no age restrictions, no age verification for the most part. The terms of service is just like copy paste corporate bullshit. And it's also a hub for Nazis and pedophiles. I mean, that's not even like up for question. That one dude that was pretty much like recording underage girls getting naked on Omegle and then putting the clips in his Discord, you know, basically distributing child porn. That guy like didn't get banned for the longest time. He was even friends with the owners of the platform. The fact that, you know, fucking like people like Sneeko can be on Kick and it's totally fine with all the like Nazi rhetoric that he spews. Yeah, I don't think Kick is the correct answer. For a competitor to Twitch. It's also lazy as fuck. The fact that people couldn't see it was a grift from the start We were all saying it's just Twitch but green. Dude, it looked just like Twitch but green when it came out, and it still kind of does. Like, they've obviously redone a few things to make it a little bit more distinct, but overall it still looks like Twitch. When it first came out, it was a 1-to-1 recoding of Twitch pretty much, but with like the name Kick slapped on it, and it was green. So it's pretty lazy. But I don't know, maybe I'm just like becoming a boomer now. I'm still pretty young, but like I grew up with all this stuff and with the internet in general. I come from a time period where even though I was insanely young and shouldn't have been using the internet, I remember when the internet was small, when there were tight communities, and when the internet was still felt like a Wild West type of place. Nowadays, it just feels like a hub for racism, and like real racism, like real world materialized racism. Back then, it was like, yeah, if you called someone a slur on Xbox Live, then it's like, okay, like it's racist, but it's not doing much. People kind of expected that shit. Nowadays, it's like people are spreading Nazi propaganda on Twitter and convincing actual real life people to become like pseudo Nazis, you know. And so, you know, the internet doesn't feel small anymore. It feels like now normal people use it. I think the pandemic definitely assisted in that, where it forced people to adapt and start using the internet. It forced old people to do it. It forced young people to do it. I remember being in middle school and people not knowing how to copy paste stuff in a Google Doc. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? You don't know how to do that? Not realizing that I'm a unique case where, you know, me and only a few other people used computers the way that we did. This was all new to people our age. Either because they didn't have a computer in the house, or if they did, they didn't bother to like learn that kind of stuff. Because they didn't need to. But yeah, the internet just feels like it almost feels dead. I know there's like the dead internet theory, but it almost feels too big for its own good. It feels like the purpose of the internet is dead now. Like its original purpose. Its original purpose was to communicate information to people, and now it feels like the information is kind of curated for us, and it's just being fed to us, and there is no healthy discourse amongst other people with it. People are set in their own ways, and they use it as a tool to spread their own version of information, instead of just using it to learn new info that's like unbiased and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion, I guess, on the internet, but call me a boomer. But I've thought this for a really long time, why the internet doesn't feel the same anymore as it used to. Like, I used the internet around... God, take a drink every time I say that word. The internet. I was using, like, YouTube around 2009 to, like, watch, like, stop-motion Lego animations, and I think I've talked about that before. I would use YouTube to watch Star Wars clips because we had no way to watch Star Wars without it coming on, like, Spike, or us like renting a DVD of it. So I would like watch YouTube re-uploads of it. There's like one YouTube video where it's Requiem of a Dream, I think is the song. Like it's like the main theme to that movie. And it's like put over the Obi-Wan Anakin fight in episode 3. And I thought that shit was sick, dude. I thought that shit was awesome. But that time just doesn't exist anymore. You know? It's a whole different place. You know, it's I think the content being made nowadays that gets popular on live streaming platforms is lazy. I think the content being made nowadays that gets popular on YouTube is lazy, with some exceptions. I think people like... I've been watching Lemino since he was top 10 memes. That dude makes amazing videos. And I think his content's a good example of really good content that's really well made that gets a lot of views. I think his name was Blame It on George. I've never been too sure on how to pronounce his name, but I've been watching him since 2017, and his videos are awesome, and they're really well made as well. I think there's a video of his that I've yet to watch. Let me look it up. That's awesome that they call him a musician. I guess, yeah, he does make videos, or music, I mean. Yo, he has it. That was weird. Somebody just honked their horn a bunch outside. Yo, he just made a 2.5-hour Lost Media video. Sorry, I'm taking my keys and stuff out of my pocket. But yeah, I think he's a good example of good content. Nexpo is pretty good. There's a few others that I'm missing, but then there's like content that's just so lazy. I think a lot of streamer content is fairly lazy. I mean, streaming is like convenient compared to making content. You don't need a video editor or anything. Like, if you don't have a video editing software like Premiere or anything like that because you can't afford it, OBS is free. You can fire up OBS, and if you have decent enough hardware or you know how to configure it just right, you can stream anything pretty much. And so it's convenient, it's easy, it's accessible. Making videos is a lot harder now because the standard of quality is higher. You know, I think that's just how it is nowadays. Content's gotten lazier, and that's probably why it feels so different. Which is ironic because I come from an era where people would just fire up their webcam and record a video and upload it raw. But like, that had way more going for it than some fucking like Twitch streamer or TikTok streamer being like, all right guys, let's get to this many subs, and then all they're doing is like watching someone else's YouTube video or, you know, playing whatever game is popular. You know, but yeah, that's my opinion on that. So yeah, anyways, let's cut to a little break with these short messages. Hope y'all are enjoying the episode so far. If you didn't know, we have merch, and it's on TeePublic. There'll be a link to it in the description if you want to get some merch. And new time for the podcast. Usually these come out on Saturday. We are now pulling it back to Friday. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Welcome back. So moving on from what we were just talking about, I would like to give some updates on Israel.
Now to new developments.
So Benjamin Netanyahu recently dissolved the war cabinet. He did that yesterday, it seems. So recently Benny Gantz left the war cabinet, as I discussed in a few episodes ago. I think I talked about it on Forbidden FM. We knew that this was coming because he said he was going to do it. And, you know, I was a little skeptical if he would, and then he did. So now that he's left the war cabinet, it seems that Benjamin Netanyahu has basically dissolved the war cabinet. So let's watch this.
In the war in Gaza, the Israeli military has announced a daytime pause in the fighting in a narrow strip of territory in the south to allow more aid to get in. And this morning, in a sign of new political tensions over the conduct of the war, Israeli Prime Minister, that's Benjamin Netanyahu, disbanded an influential decision-making group. Chris Livesay has that part of the story.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dissolved his war cabinet, once a coalition of rivals meant to sow unity during the conflict in Gaza. That changed last week when Benny Gantz, the leading moderate opponent of the prime minister, resigned over the absence of a plan to govern Gaza after the war. Many have feared Netanyahu would now lurch towards the hard right, the linchpin of his remaining support. The shakeup comes after Israel announced a tactical pause in the fighting along 7.5 miles of road in the Rafah area during daylight hours to allow more aid. In Gaza and around the Muslim world, it's the Islamic holiday of Eid al-Adha. Muted for this displaced family, taking refuge in a stable.
I think it's really interesting that they are doing a humanitarian aid pause. I can't imagine many people that are left in Gaza trust the humanitarian aid trucks. Like a week or so ago, IDF soldiers basically rode in on humanitarian aid trucks in secret and then opened fire after people were running towards the trucks to get aid. Allegedly, American troops were amongst those that were on the aid truck, from what I've heard. That's super alarming if we have boots on the ground in Gaza. I mean, what the hell are American troops doing in the IDF? I don't understand why we're getting this involved in a conflict that doesn't matter to us in any meaningful way. I mean, the only reason anyone in Congress even supports any of this is because they're being paid by AIPAC. So, you know, I don't understand why we're continuing to aid this conflict when it's clearly a losing battle. But according to new documents, not really new, but like newly surfaced documents from the intelligence agency. So it seems that the Shin Bet, we already knew that the Shin Bet pretty much had an idea that the attack on Israel on October 7th was going to happen. We pretty much already knew that they had an idea of that. In fact, we know that they tried to tell Benjamin Netanyahu about this, and his response was essentially along the lines of, "You're woke and also gay, and then shut up." Like, just completely arrogantly disregarded the entire warning. And then now it seems that the intelligence bases around the area that was attacked not only knew this was going to happen weeks in advance, but even had a pretty decent estimate of the amount of hostages that would possibly be taken after Hamas glided in. I mean, they literally were like surveying the whole area. If you don't think Israel is not 24/7 surveilling Gaza, you're insane. Before all of this was going down, they 100% had a 24/7 watchful eye over Gaza, like always watching pretty much. I have no doubt that they knew every move that everyone in Gaza was making.
Almost 9 months.
So this is an AI redubbed video. So you can hear it in English because it's all in Hebrew. So
To the return in October, while the IDF still hasn't published the investigations of the default, we are tonight revealing the intelligence document of 800-2 that was distributed only 2 weeks before that Sabbath, and gave the Southern Command an accurate picture of the raid plan on the OTEF, including the exact number of abductees that was rehearsed in advance by the terrorists. All the details about what the Gaza Congress knew, here is the disclosure of our reporter Suleiman Masfeda.
When talking about the intelligence failure on the 7th of October, it seems that everything has already been said. And yet tonight we reveal a chilling document with its level of accuracy, which describes how much the IDF and the intelligence system knew about Hamas's plan to encroach on the territory of the State of Israel and carry out the atrocities. The document that came to us was compiled in the Gaza Committee and was given the title Detailed End-to-End Raid Training. It was distributed on September 19, 2023, less than 3 weeks before the Hamas plan went into effect.
This right here. I mean, look, there's a reason why I bring this up and why I'm bringing up the Benny Gantz situation with the war cabinet dissolving. Is that it kind of seems like Israel is slowly heading towards its own destruction. Not in like not in talking about like the entire country blowing up or something. That's not what I'm referring to. I mean the government as a whole slowly collapsing on itself. Because you have this where the intelligence agencies all had an idea that an attack was imminent and that it was going to happen soon. And you have the Israeli government arrogantly ignoring those warnings. The attack happens. It then slowly comes out over the last 10 months or so, or 9 months. that the IDF was aware of all of this and did nothing pretty much. And then on top of that, the bipartisan coalition of the War Cabinet, which was supposed to basically expedite decisions that were being made about the bombings in Gaza, like what decisions needed to be made. It basically sped up the process because it meant that all the parties were working together, or at least the two sides were working together with the prime minister. And with the moderate leaving, now we have the liberal Zionist, I don't even know if you can call him a liberal, the conservative Zionist, Benjamin Netanyahu, and the far right pretty much having to make all these decisions on their own. So now it opens the gate for the even liberal Zionists in Israel to start pulling back support for this. And, you know, all it's going to do is just make the Israeli government far more unpopular. Netanyahu will probably be replaced at this point. I mean, that dude's been barely winning re-elections, like, ever since he was elected, pretty much. Like, he's not all that popular. He gets popular at first because he sows a narrative, and then over time that narrative starts to unravel, and he becomes less and less popular every election. But it seems that with all these events happening, the government over there is pretty much just going to lose all support for this.
Soldiers and civilians, and especially instructions on how to hold the abductees and guard them when they are already in the Gaza Strip. You have to read the whole thing to believe how much the writing was on the wall. This document starts by discussing Hamas's military arms company training sequences. Sweating Division's intelligence staff meticulously trailed every tiny detail. At 11 in the morning, several companies were observed gathering for the beginning of the faith, not before prayer and lunch. At 12, equipment and weapons are distributed to the fighters, and then an exercise of when the company is ready. At 2 o'clock, the raid practices begin. The authors of the document detail a series of exercises carried out by Hamas forces before the attack. The military arm of the organization practiced ground and air raids on Israeli territory, in front of the eyes of the members of the Southern Command. The one who commanded the troops was the commander, who together with the mappers made sure, among other things, to arouse the religious feelings of the warriors. And in every exercise they quoted verses from the Quran, which motivate them to go to war.
I don't know, dude. This is a massive intelligence failure. It's like when it came out that the U.S. knew about a possible 9/11 style attack and just didn't do anything with that information. I know a lot of people like to blame the Bush presidency, the Bush presidential transition. People like to kind of point fingers at how that transition was delayed. Thus, the Bush administration didn't have time to process information like that. But, I mean, let's be real. I think, you know, something like the FBI finding potential leads to an attack on the U.S. in that style. I think that would have been made a priority. I think people would have been knowing about that. I don't believe the narrative of, like, the Bush transition. I guess I'm just going to be out of focus for this. I don't believe the narrative that the Bush transition being delayed contributed to them not knowing about 9/11. Like them being blindsided by 9/11. Seriously, why am I out of focus? Weird. Okay. I just think, I don't know, this just whole thing, you know, kind of just spells the end of the conflict, the distrust that the rest of the world has for Israel. I mean, it really amplifies it. The Western world used to usually turn a blind eye to this. And now you have, like, countries in Europe being like, no, this shit's, like, kind of fucked. You know, and even a lot of Americans are against it, too, which is, like, unprecedented. You know, for decades now, America has been, for the most part, pro-Israel. So, yeah, I just think this is going to spell the end of the way that we support Israel in the future, and the way that people in general support. I think supporting Israel will be a losing battle for future presidents. Unless you're Trump, then you can do no wrong, I guess. But that's what I think. Speaking of Trump, dude, this Biden-Trump debate that they're going to have, I think it's this month? I don't even know what to think. Like, I really don't. I don't know what to think. I'm scared. I think that Biden is cooked during this debate. I mean, so Trump went on Impulsive, and it really put into perspective that I don't think Biden could handle an uninterrupted hour of conversation. I don't think he could handle it, which makes me scared for him in the debates. You know, he's old as shit. He's older than most people are when they're not allowed to drive anymore. I'm afraid for this debate. I think it's going to cook Biden's image. And like, you know, usually this would be like a layup for the Democrats. You know, Trump is in trials right now. He just got convicted on one of them for 34 counts. The Democrats are basically being handed the election on a silver platter, and you have Biden, who's like a fossil at this point, who has not really lived up to any of his campaign promises from 2020. And he's fucking around with Israel too much. Like, he's way too down with what Israel's doing. And young people see that, and they don't want to vote for him now. And so it's just a classic case of the Democrats ruining a layup. It's like 2016. They ruined a layup. You know, like Hillary Clinton, deeply unpopular, corrupt candidate. You know, way too buried in corruption, where people view her as like, why did you get away with the email scandal? They don't like the way that she was conducting the State Department. There's multiple reasons why you shouldn't like Hillary Clinton. And she was so deeply unpopular, she lost to Donald Trump. Like, people don't understand how crazy that was back then. That because we all thought Clinton had it in the bag. And that's just like liberal blindness, pretty much. That you genuinely... And also, all the polls were showing it, too. They almost fucked a 2020 layup where I was genuinely shocked that Biden won. Mostly because even back then we were saying he's a little old, like, what are we doing here? And yeah, I think they're going to fumble this 2024 election. I think it's going to be... I will be more shocked if Biden wins this year than I was shocked in 2016 when Trump won. I think there's an even slimmer chance of Biden winning this than Trump had a chance of winning the 2016 election. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. I guess I'll end the episode here. I don't know how long this episode will be. I'd imagine it's going to be fairly short. I don't know. I'm not sure. So, anywho, that is it. Go check out the merch. Go check out the Patreon. Go check out us on other platforms. If you don't want to watch the video and you just want to listen, we're on other platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, and also Patreon. And yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'll see y'all next week. And yeah. Bye-bye.